Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video. It's been raining these last few days, so that's gotten in the way of my swap meet and pawn shop visits. Not a lot of people, put up shop if it's raining, but I was still able to pick up some really neat stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. So let's get started. My one and only video game pickup is for the GameCube. I've mentioned this before, I love the GameCube, so I'm trying to get as many GameCube games as I can. And the only GameCube game I've been able to find is The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning. Now, by far, my favorite Spyro games are on the PlayStation 1. Insomniac took care of those games, and they were really, really cool. The platformer was cool, the story was cool, everything, the control, just really cool. Insomniac stopped making games, and a different company took over, and those games were forgettable. They weren't as good as Insomniac's work. But then they decided to reboot the series and start fresh. That's why it's a new beginning. And this one actually works. I was actually not sure of picking this one up, but I decided to buy it because I bought a few months back for the Game Boy the Spyro the Eternal Night, and I thought that was really cool. And it's a sequel to the story on this one. So that was another reason why I decided to pick it up, and I'm glad I did. It's actually pretty cool. The graphics are pretty decent for a GameCube game. It doesn't push the boundaries of the system at all, but it's actually pretty cool. The lighting is neat, and it has a lot of really cool voice work. It has Elijah Wood, which is voices Spyro, and it's of course Frodo from the Lord of the Rings series. It has David Spade. I remember him more from The Emperor's New Groove, that Disney movie where he turns to a llama. And it has Gary Oldman, and Gary Oldman is awesome in anything. I remember him best from, his villain in The Fifth Element, and Commissioner Gordon in the Batman movie. I'm glad I picked it up. It's actually a pretty cool game. So, but like I said, it's my only video game pickup. The rest of the stuff is movies. The first one I bought is the full-length movie of Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. If you liked the animated series, you're totally gonna dig this one. I'm a big fan of Batman, so anything that has to do with Batman, I love it. But this one is really cool. What this movie does it shows a chapter of the origin of Batman after he comes back to Gotham after his training. He's trying to fight the criminal element, and he dons this suit, but he's able to stop the criminals, but he doesn't instill the fear he wants. So while that's happening, he meets up with this girl, and he falls in love with her. And he's questioning whether to pursue his promise to fight crime or actually start living with this girl. Eventually he decides to become Batman. So a few years after that, this new vigilante comes into town, the Phantasm, and he's like this ghostly Grim Reaper thing, and he starts killing off the mafia bosses. But everyone starts thinking it's Batman, so the police are after him. The criminals are after him, and all the while Batman has to stop the Phantasm, and he has to deal with the return of his lost love. So that's pretty deep stuff for an animated movie. And then of course the Joker comes into play, voiced awesomely by Mark Hamill. Every episode of the Joker was really awesome because he did the voice. So all in all, just a really cool movie because of all the elements that this one has. I'm trying to track down Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, because again, it's another movie based that has Mark Hamill as the Joker, and it deals with Batman's final battle with the Joker. So that's another animated movie I want to get. But this one definitely really cool. And I picked up UFC 3. This is totally different from what UFC is right now. UFC right now is like just standard fights. Back in these days, UFC was like a tournament thing. They would get 8 fighters in different martial art styles, You would have a taekwondo guy, a sumo guy, a judo guy, a karate guy fighting off in rounds, and then the winners would follow to the next round until only two remained for the finals. And this I actually enjoyed this style better because it leaves it up in the air for anyone to win it. I mean, they have this match where this big giant sumo guy is fighting this little karate guy, and the little karate guy beats the sumo guy. So that's pretty. I thought that was pretty cool. So just a interesting look back at what was UFC. I actually like wrestling. I prefer the WWE, but I'm also liking UFC now. So it's really cool to look back at what was UFC when it started out. So that was interesting. Then this lady was selling all these movies for 20 pesos, so I picked up the ones I thought were more interesting, and they are. I picked up vintage movie classics, Alfred Hitchcock uh, montage of mysteries. This is Alfred Hitchcock's earlier work, back when he was filming movies in Britain. So everyone, all of the actors have this really interesting British accent. And this disc has three movies, which is The Rich and the Strange, 39 Steps, and The Young and the Innocent. And by far the best movie is 39 Steps. That one is the best one of this collection. Just a really really awesome movie, and they're all in black and white. And like I said, I enjoy those old black and white movies. So this one is an awesome collection. So really enjoyed that one. And I really dig anime. I really, really like anime because it has all these different genres. It could be comedy, it could be action, it could be political stuff, everything. So anime just has a wide flavor for topics and stuff. So I always try to get anime whenever I see it. Uh, I prefer to get anime in the earlier volumes because that way I don't get lost on what's going on. But if I find anime that's already, like this one, Get Backers Volume 6, I'll pick it up. Now, Get Backers, I do know of it because I've read some of the manga. It's basically these two guys that will take any job as long as you need something recovered. If someone stole something from you, you hire these guys and they'll get it back for you, or stuff like that. And it's really cool because it has really cool fighting scenes, but it's also a comedy. So these type of anime I really like. The animation is really really cool, and when it switches to the funny part, it's really goofy, but I like it. I enjoyed this one a lot. I like the manga, and the anime is really cool. Like I said, the only problem is it's volume 6, so it's really deep into the series, but still really cool. Now this one I picked up knowing nothing about it. It's called Area 88, Volume 4. I only picked it up because it had airplanes, and the back says that it's full of political intrigue, and I like those kind of animes. But as I was watching it, I got a sense of nostalgia. I mean, I was watching it, and this notion that I've seen this before came over me, and I researched it, and it's actually linked to UN Squadron. Now, UN Squadron was an awesome game on the Super Nintendo. It was a shooter. So you would go on your ship and you would start shooting stuff, and you can upgrade the ship, and that was really really cool because it had this anime style look to it. So I was really blown away when I did discover that this movie is linked to that game. So that made it even better. This is Volume 4 again, already started in the series, and it's actually the last disc of the series. But it's a really really cool series. The animations again awesome. It has some really really cool dogfights. So just blown away that it's linked to one of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo. So totally cool. From that same lady, I picked up the unrated version of Bad Santa. This movie is not your typical Christmas story. It stars Billy Bob Thornton as this mean-spirited alcoholic who works as a Santa, a mall Santa, just so he can steal stuff with his partner. So it's really really cool. It's really funny. It's really crude. It has some heart. Just an awesome movie, and It stars John Ritter too. I think this was his last movie he made before he unfortunately died of a heart attack. And he's hilarious in this movie too. Just everyone in the movie is just really really cool in here. So I totally recommend this movie, and especially the unrated version because it has some more stuff. So yeah. And this movie, I have avoided picking it up because I always had the idea that it's a chick flick, and it is. It starts Winona Ryder as this girl that gets sent to a mental institution, and she meets up with Angelina Jolie's character, who's really crazy. So they're trying to. It's kind of like the girl version of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson. But the only reason I picked it up, one, because it was cheap, and two, because I was curious to see the movie that gave Angelina Jolie her Oscar, and I have this the thing for Angelina Jolie in her older movies, so that's the main reason I picked it up. So it's an okay movie, but it really is only worth watching because of Angelina Jolie. So yeah. And the last two movies I picked up at a pawn shop. They were selling them, but they're brand new. They come sealed and everything. And there are two Star Trek movies. I really really like Star Trek. I like the old TV series not so much, but the movies were cool. My favorite old TV Star Trek movie is The Wrath of Khan. That movie is just incredible. It's just works on so many levels. So that's my favorite one. And The Search for Spock, because it does continue The Wrath of Khan, I also enjoy. I picked up Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. This movie's so-so. It's not the best Star Trek movie, but basically it's just a battle between the Klingons and the Federation and everything, and how it deals with Kirk's mistrust of the Klingons because of what happened at Star Trek: The Search for Spock. It's not the best movie, but it's still cool because you get to see McCoy and Spock and Kirk. So that's one of the reasons I picked up. And the other Star Trek movie I picked up is Star Trek Insurrection. My favorite Next Generation movie is First Contact, the one where they fight against the Borg. That one was really cool. But this one just it would have worked better as a TV episode, not as a movie. The thing I liked about the Next Generation, first of all, is the space battles. That whenever they encounter a new race and they're like, "Oh, we are going to destroy you," and then they try to deal with that. That's awesome. This one doesn't have that. The other thing I like about Next Generation is the political aspect. Like, there's this episode where a scientist wants to break open data and make more data, and Picard's trying to defend him because he's a sentient being, and they have this big trial. But there is a lot of political stuff that I really enjoyed from Next Generation. This one doesn't have that. The only thing this movie has going for it is the interaction between the characters. I mean, I watched Star Trek: The Next Generation from beginning to end. It's one of the few series that I've watched. Didn't miss an episode, and I watch the whole thing through. So the interaction between the characters is the only thing that saves this movie, but it's not the best Star Trek movie. It really isn't. If it would have been an episode, it would have worked okay, but as almost a 2-hour movie, it fails. But it's Star Trek. I had to pick it up. So guys, those were my collection pickups for this video. My recommendations, since I started making these, would definitely be Area 88. If you have a chance to see it somewhere, definitely check it out. The animation is cool, and if you like UN Squadron, you're gonna love this. And definitely Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. Just I can't say enough about this movie. It's just incredible. The animation works, the story works, the voice actors work, everything. So yeah, those two. Well guys, I guess this is the end of the video. This is Vargas XX78, signing off.